Warframe's update 31.1 Echoes of War today brought us the Earth Forest Chamber, the Uranus Underwater Chamber, along with the PH decorations that we got before, including the Grenier Earth and Sea Lab decorations, along with some Earth Nature decorations as well. However, this video will solely cover the Uranus Chamber, because unlike the Earth Forest Chamber, this room is actually super cool. Obviously, it sucks that we can't change the skybox, however, the skybox actually matches the lighting that comes present in the room. We have a little underwater area that you can see actual fish in. They added bubble atmospherics all around the room. That saves you tons and tons of capacity. There's actually leaking water in the room. There's a bit of fog in there that rotates, and that's pretty freaking awesome. But by far the coolest part about this room is any decorations that you place will have a water reflection effect on them, no matter where they're at in the room, and I think that is fucking incredible. For people who are trying to go for an underwater theme, this is absolutely the room you must use. Like, without question, use this. Similar to the Earth Forest Chamber, it does have an issue where decorations don't reflect the lighting coming in from above, which normally would annoy me. However, in this room, the lighting isn't so distinctly different throughout the room that I have an issue with it, so I'm okay with that. However, unlike the Forest Chamber, the shadows are not casting in the wrong direction, so at the very least we have that. So let's get into the detailed breakdown. This room is a 6-doored hall, just like an Entrati Hall or an Inspiration Hall, and also just like the Earth Forest Chamber, grants 200 dojo capacity and costs 500 energy. The corresponding cost for each clan tier is listed on screen now. Now let's go ahead and take a look at room coloring and lighting. So we'll start with room coloring and take a look at primary, secondary, tertiary, accents, and lights. And then as for room lighting, fog is actually different compared to most skybox rooms in comparison. And the reason being is fog typically needs an object in the distance that you can, see, and then the fog will occur between your camera and that object in the distance. Normally, this is a huge problem with larger skybox rooms simply because the skybox doesn't count as an object in the distance, and so there's usually a pretty stark contrast between where there is actually fog and where there is not. However, with this room, the windows count as an object, so fog will still occur, granted not quite as well as you would hope, but it still occurs compared to open space where it just would never fucking happen. Key does absolutely nothing. Key does jack shit. Accent dominates the entire room when it comes to lighting. In terms of the room's inherent red zones, there are fucking none. Absolutely none. Just a quick sped up process. The only red zones I were able to find were ones created by a teleporter I placed and by my Warframe itself. But otherwise, I could not find a single inch of this room that actually has a red zone. So thank God for that. We're going to touch briefly on skyboxes. You can't change the skybox in this room, as we already mentioned. However, you can determine the orientation using the spawn method, as we have already discussed several trillion times in other videos. If you want to learn more about how to orient and change the direction of your skybox, please watch the video linked on screen now. In terms of getting out of bounds, you can just teleport her to the ceiling as you would with open space. However, there really isn't a point to going out of bounds. The boundary red zones technically exist. If you start to go too high, you'll hit a red zone, although if you are out of bounds and are actually getting to the point that you're hitting the red zone, you're also to a point where the decoration isn't even going to render. And then also on the sides, it's not like open space, and it's not like the observatory where you could put decorations out to the side and have them still render. No, like you can barely move a decoration beyond the room itself before it just disappears entirely. So going out of bounds really doesn't matter here. And then that is it for this review. Shortly after this video releases, if not already by the time you're watching this, I will also have a video covering the Earth Forest Chamber that came out at the same time, and the decoration sets from the Grenier Earth and Sea Lab and Earth Nature.